1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is how many different types of powders exist. Okay, let's start with the basic. This is a setting powder. This is by Maybelline. It's the Fit Me Loose Setting Powder. You set your makeup with this powder. You set your under eyes with this powder, okay? This is a baking powder. This is by Huda Beauty. This is the Cherry Blossom powder by Huda Beauty. This is the one you use to brighten underneath your eyes. It has a pinkish tone. You can also bake with this, but it's a little heavy to bake with, but this one is perfect to bake with. Well, this is a brightening powder. This is a yellow banana powder. If you want to brighten underneath your eyes with a banana powder, you use a yellowish powder like this. If you want a pinkish brightening under eyes, you use a pinkish brightening powder. This by Maybelline, this is the Super Stay Full Coverage powder. This is actually a powder foundation. You can use it over your foundation, but it is mostly used for powder foundation. It can increase the coverage of your makeup, but it will set, but it will not set it properly. So this is mainly powder foundation. This right here is by Urban Decay. It's their Velvetizer Mixing Powder. You use this kind of powders to increase the coverage of your foundation or to make it more matte. You use a little bit of this powder and mix it with your foundation, and it will increase the coverage and it will make it more matte. This kind of powders are so fine and feels like silk. It doesn't feel like a setting powder, but you can set your makeup with this definitely, but it is mostly used to mix in with your foundation. A lot of people confuse this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder as a setting powder, but this is actually a finishing powder. What you do is after you are done with your base makeup, you use it as a finishing powder. Basically, you use it over all of your makeup and it will give you a very soft finish. It will make your makeup look airbrushed and it will elevate your makeup game. Basically, it will make your skin look much better. If you use this without using a proper setting powder, this will not work. Instead, it will ruin your makeup. So this is Hourglass Ambient Powder. Well, it's not a highlighter. A lot of people confuse it with highlighter. What it is, it's a very fine luminous powder. What you can do is you can use it over your blushed, contoured makeup. If you do not want a very strong highlighting base makeup, what you can do is you can use a little bit of this powder. It will bring back the natural glow. It won't look very harsh highlighted like this one. It will just give an within glow look through this powder. So if you are into very natural but still want a very fresh, I don't want to say glowy, it will give you an a very luminous kind of finish. So this is also technically a finishing powder. You may also confuse this with a blush, but this is not a blush. This is also not a highlighter. This is a luminous powder. What you can do is, if you feel like your blush is looking a little too matte but you don't want to wear highlighter, you can just use it over your makeup and it will give you that fresh kind of not glossy, how do I say it, I don't have enough lexical resource to express it, but it just gives a very fresh, clean girl look. Lastly, this is a blotting powder. This is what you keep in your purse. Well, it looks white but it doesn't have any color. It's basically translucent. So if you get oily throughout the day, what I would recommend is use a blotting paper first, then use this powder. It will not change your base, it will not do anything, it will just mattify wherever you want to mattify. So If you want to touch up throughout the day, get a blotting powder. I know this is a little overwhelming, but these little things will definitely elevate your makeup game.